Tardy again. Hello, hello, good morning. Welcome to a tardy edition of Hobby Evolution. Happy Wednesday. It's trash day. My hair's looking a little crazy today. Trash day. I did remember, even though it's only trash day, it's not the important one, which is recycling week. It's only trash day, but I did take my trash out to the curb last night. So I did remember that. So what's happening? Happy Wednesday. Back in my younger days, we used to call today Blackout Wednesday. As when we were 20-somethings, we would return home from college or from professional life. We would get tired of hanging out with family. We would go to the local bar and get absolutely obliterated, wasted, be hungover for Thanksgiving. How many Thanksgivings did I ruin from hangovers? Basically everyone from the age of 20 to 30. Basically that whole decade. 2002 to 2012, Thanksgivings were ruined. Actually, probably 2011 because I was working in college athletics, though, 2010, 2011, 2012. So I was on better behavior in those days. So yeah, Blackout Wednesday. It's nothing now that when you turn 40 or 30 in my case, you just kind of take it easy. May have a couple brews tonight, but I'm certainly not going out. I'm not leaving this house. I've got my Badger hoodie on. They play today, like at 1:30. I was looking this week. It's in I've been like so busy with shipping and listing and shipping, and it's been true to form this week. Listing and shipping and listing and shipping and listing. I haven't had much time to watch any college hoops, so I'm looking forward to getting caught up throughout the morning. And I added about 1,000 items to my eBay store yesterday alone, about 1,000. And I even got caught up on shipping. I had my shipping numbers down to like 20 some, like 22 or 23, which is basically zero for me. But those are basically sales that have come in within the last couple hours. So that was good. I haven't hit triple digits yet, but I had a ton of sales. I woke up with 97 eBay notifications, mostly sales. In the overnight hours. There is a sale, by the way. I ran a Black Friday sale, Black Friday week sale. Somebody just texted me, which is very odd time at 7:13 in the morning. It's Zach. Oh, Zach just texted me something happened at a Walmart last night. So I was not aware of, thank you, Zach. I was not aware of any news regarding Walmart. So today we're talking about adventures in Walmart. I made a trip to Walmart, and I'll tell you about my adventures in Walmart. Was not aware of any news that happened at Walmart. So apologies in advance for that. Shipping and listing and shipping and listing. Haven't watched much college basketball. I looked at the schedule. What did I miss? I'm like, man, did I miss a Wisconsin game? No, they play at 1:30 today. So this is they call it Feast Week, and and there's games like throughout the day. Like yesterday, there were games tipping off at 10 a.m. There was a game tipping off at like midnight. I don't think they do like overnight anymore. They used to do like the 24 hours of basketball where they would have a game tip off like every 2 hours for ESPN. They don't do that. I don't think they do that anymore. Let's see. But we've got several 10 a.m. games today. Nothing big. Illinois State, Rhode Island. We've got Northern Illinois versus Long Island, Toledo, and Northern Kentucky. Kansas, they do play this morning at 11 a.m. So that's a game I might turn on in the background. But the Badgers play Dayton at 1:30 this afternoon. So that'll be a game that I'll have on, and that's why it's Hoodie Wednesday. Oh, by the way, I will be going live tomorrow. Thanksgiving, I will go live because it's basically another day for me. That's the perks of working for yourself. You don't take holidays. But it's like, what else would I do? Lay on the couch in my or lay on the couch in my rec room and look at cards? I look for when I worked non-cards, when I worked an office job, guess what I looked forward to on Thanksgiving and Wednesday night, the night before Thanksgiving and Black Friday? Looking at cards, selling cards on eBay, sorting, listing, selling. So now I just get to do it all day and all night, every day. So I'm looking forward to that. I do have a case of Topps Heritage Miners due to it's here in Madison. Hopefully it's on a truck. Blowout cards, by the way, they are the GOAT of fulfilling orders, especially when it comes to new releases. They did their job because today's release day, and my case is already on a well, hopefully on a truck right now. But it's already here in Madison, Wisconsin. Let's see, UPS. Let's track it. This is the only time I track packages when I've got a 3 Fingers Brown in a case. My email sucks. Why does my email suck? Because I still use Hotmail. Yes, Hotmail still exists, and there are still people that use Hotmail as their email account, myself included. That's why my email sucks. Anyway. Hopefully it's going to get delivered today. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe we can circle back. Maybe we'll play a game today. Going back, I will go live. I'm all over the place. I will go live tomorrow morning on Thanksgiving because I'm going to treat it like a normal work day. I'm going to wake up same time. We'll go on at 7 a.m. And we'll do a Thanksgiving show. Friday, I will also go live on Friday morning for Black Friday. In fact, we might do like a live programming note. I may go on a little early on Black Friday. Actually, well, I don't know. I shouldn't say that. I don't know if I'm going to go on early. I will go on at some point Friday morning. So I don't know what some of these retailers, like if Blowout did like what they used to do on Black Friday, I would consider going on early and doing like a live tracking the Blowout sales. But they haven't done that in a couple of years, and they haven't like announced any big Black Friday shenanigans, spectaculars. So I don't know if they're going to do that. If I knew they were, I probably would go on a little early and we'd do like a little live. Hey, look at this. Here's Dave and Adams. Here's Steel City. Here's Blowout. So we'll see. What else is going on? Let's go to the chat. I don't think I've addressed the chat this morning. Cooter, first one in. Cooter, what's up? Good morning. Jenny is in the house. Good morning, Jenny. Johnny Boy Cards, happy trash day. Thank you. David, good morning. Ed is with us. By the way, Ed will be on with Dan, Korean Cardboard, tomorrow night, Friday night. So tune into that. I'll be looking forward to that on Friday night. Boston Smoke, what's happening? Good Thanksgiving Eve to you. Let's see. Paige and Deanie Bean in the house. Dean wants to know if you have seen any turkeys. You know, the funny thing is we have a lot of wild turkeys in Madison, Wisconsin. There's a lot of green spaces. My email still hasn't, from the time I was talking about my stupid package. Let's see. Turkeys in Madison. So we have a lot of green spaces, a lot of parks and trees and stuff here. So there's a few miles down the road. Let's see. Is it Old Sauk Road and Old Middleton Road? There's a park, and I can't remember the name of the park, but it's a pretty big park. And there's always turkeys, and turkeys cross. It's kind of it's not a main, well, it's a main road. But turkeys cross a lot. Have I had any turkeys in my backyard? I may have had a turkey here or there, like in my backyard, because I'm like way out. Like there's turkeys. We see turkeys all over. I haven't seen them lately. Because they might be on plates tomorrow. I haven't seen too many turkeys here lately. But we have a lot of turkeys in the area. Yes. Let's see. Terry, what's happening? Good morning. Let's see. Jenny says it was not good at Walmart last night. I was not aware. Jaden, good morning to you. Herman, what's happening? Let's see. Terry says I finally saw a bunch of stuff in Walmart yesterday, but nothing that I wanted. Probably why it was there. I did make a purchase yesterday at Walmart, hence the title of today's show. So I finally got it loaded. It says your package is arriving tomorrow. I'm like, wait, tomorrow? So let's see. ATX Treasure Chest, good morning to you. No school this week, so have a bit more time. Very nice. John is in the house. That 70s card show. Stopping in to say happy Thanksgiving to all. Stay safe and eat everything. So my Heritage Miners case is being prepared for delivery. Shipment progress. It is in Middleton, Wisconsin as of 4:29 a.m. So hopefully it's on a truck as we speak. Bo's email is hotmail@hotmail.com. I always like whisper it when I'm like somewhere that they need my email address, and I'm like, BoSpencer82 at hotmail.com. I don't want anybody to. My wife is always like, why don't you use Gmail? And I use Gmail for my 1 million Cubs account, which I don't check because I have 150,000. I have 153,990 emails unread. Most of those are on my 1 million Cubs account. So that's why if you've sent me an email there, I have not responded because I just don't see them. Let's see. Jenny says, speaking of electronics that suck, I think there's news you have for us. Yes, my adventure in Walmart. Jenny says, tonight I will be doing the tradition my dad raised me on, watching Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Great movie. Let's see. Ed says, Blowout is the best for getting product in your hands on release day. They are phenomenal. I love Blowout for that. Red Light 34, what's happening? Good morning to you. Boom Slang in the house. What is up, Boom Slang? Terry says, we have a lot of wild turkeys here. Also, I see them around the house often. Boom Slang says, my son has them and they're young all year long and deer. Looks like Bo waxed his face. I did a little shave yesterday. We have what I really like around here for wildlife is sandhill cranes. They're really cool. We used to have them, so especially on the west side of Madison and getting over to Middleton, it used to be like all like, I don't know if it was farmland, but it was like land, undeveloped land, and these sandhill cranes, it was their habitat, and then it was taken away from them and replaced with Five Guys Burgers and Denny's and McDonald's and the Hilton Garden Inn and Greenway Station. So now the sandhill cranes come back every year and they're just like looking around like, what in the hell? Because every year there's like new stores popping up, new buildings popping up. Now there's like a high-rise apartments and businesses going in. So they look around like, what in the hell? They call sandhill cranes ribeye in the sky. I've never eaten a sandhill crane because they're cool animals. Like I wouldn't want to eat them. I mean, cows are pretty cool too, but they're also delicious. Maybe sandhill cranes are delicious. But I'll get sandhill cranes in my backyard once, maybe twice a year, at least when I see them. And they just kind of chill out, hang out, walk through my backyard. Jenny says, shaving, so you are not a no-shave November guy, or any of you all in the chat. I am not a no-shave November guy. I did it once, and I half-assed it. I shaved, like, I think about this time. Like, I let it go for, like, 3 weeks and shaved. I used to be like so I don't grow facial hair that much. Like, I shaved yesterday morning, and it looks like I shaved 2 minutes ago. It takes a while for me to grow my 5 o'clock shadow. And I used to shave like once a week, and that was it. And then if I went 2 or 3 weeks, it was like hell. It's like, oh, keep touching my face. So I have like, now that I just work from home and I like don't go out that much, it's like, I don't need to shave. Let's see. Chad says, "What's up, Chad Skem? Good morning to you." He's looking for advice on TCDB. Jenny is the expert on trading card database. Let's see. Jenny doesn't, but Ian Badir has one on YouTube. That's a great video. And there's the link. Very cool. John says, "Thankfully, shaving is one of those special norms that doesn't matter anymore." Yeah, like the pandemic, like killed it. And I ain't hating on that. It was, and like I shared before, like my office, I was like a staunch, business casual, like look professional when you're in the office, whether or not you have visitors. My office rarely had visitors, and it was usually like announced, like, "Hey, this person's going to be in the office on Thursday, so dress nice on Thursday." And then because my boss was like, he wasn't my boss at that time, and he's like, if I was a manager, there would be no dress code. Like, just wear whatever the hell you want. And I'm like, no, you got to be professional in the office. And then the pandemic happened, and I went like 2 weeks of wearing like my button-down shirt and my jeans. And then it went from that to I'll wear shorts. And then it went to like, I don't think I ever wore sweatpants like during the workday. I feel less productive when I wear sweatpants. Not the same with hoodies. I feel comfortable in hoodies as long as I'm wearing jeans. So yeah, it totally changed my mindset on shaving, on haircuts, on dress code. So when I went back to the office, like I won't say no, I hate saying never. I rarely wore shorts to the office. Like if it was a Friday and I took a half day to like go to the National, I would wear shorts. Or if I was leaving early to go to a baseball game, I would wear shorts to the office. But like 1 out of 1,000 times, 1 out of 100 times, I would wear shorts. And then when I went back, because I went back to the office after COVID in the summer, I was wearing shorts every day. And then I quit. And then I wore shorts every single day at home. Selling baseball cards. Max, what's happening? Yay for no shaving. Worst thing ever. John, I watched the podcast with you and Mike yesterday. Great stuff. Looking forward to more like that. Good morning, Diego. What's happening? People who talk about cardboard pictures of athletes. Absolutely. So what else is going on? My eBay sales are looking for a record November. October to date is my best month selling cards on eBay of 2022, and looking to beat that in November, which is going to see a little spike this week. If you've bought cards from my store, you will have received a coupon. 50% off when you buy 10 or more cards, which is why I woke up to 97 eBay notifications, and my phone keeps buzzing with more and more sales. So check it out. 50% off when you buy 10 or more. It would have come in your email or your eBay inbox or wherever. But that sale goes through basically midnight Friday. I think it ends at 11:30 p.m. Pacific time, which is, let's see, what time is that on the East Coast? 2:30 a.m., 1:30 Central a.m. Saturday morning. So that sale goes to, we'll call it midnight Friday night. So there you go. And I listed 1,000 items. I listed 2022 Allen and Ginter. Sold a ton of singles out of what I listed yesterday. Listed some 2022 archives, and then I listed some Conlon collection. I listed some pro debut, all kinds of stuff, all baseball. All 1,000 cards I listed yesterday were baseball, because that's just what moves out of my store, and I don't have to comp anything. I pretty much know what the values are for most things, baseball wise. I did open. I got the itch. And I had been shipping and listing and listing and shipping and shipping and listing all day. It's like, I need a break from cards. I'm going to rip a box. of cards. So I took down, so you may see I've got a couple pro debut boxes left from my second jumbo case. So I'm down to 3 hobby boxes that I'm going to save for the Couch People Christmas party, which is coming up on Saturday, December 10th. I had to think about that for a second. Saturday, December 10th, the Couch People Christmas party. I've got just wax to rip. So we're going to do that. It'll be on StreamYard, on this YouTube channel through StreamYard, which will be open for anybody to jump on the video. You can rip wax if you have it. You can just hang out. You can just do whatever you want. Well, not whatever you want, but that's Saturday, December 10th. Hours will be like 4 p.m. Central to about 9 p.m. Central, or 10 p.m. We'll see how late it goes. So that's Saturday, December 10th, Couch People Christmas party right here on YouTube. So I opened one of those boxes. I had 4. Now I have 3. I opened one last night. It was fire. This is the same case that I pulled the Superfractor, which I have right here. Christian Encarnacion Strand. So I pulled that Superfractor out of this case. And then out of a box last night, I pulled a chrome numbered out of 5 Francisco Alvarez, non-auto, but still a base chrome out of 5. Was happy with that. And then to make it even better, in fact, the autos were fire in this box. Fire. There was a Ryan Holgate, I think, blue auto, which player, but it's a color auto. The second auto, I think, was a decent pull. And then the third auto was Jason Dominguez. Woo! And that his base auto right now is selling for like $70 right now in like the office of off seasons. Like this is about as low as it goes in terms of sales for baseball cards. Actually, December is probably the worst. So if you see those trends on eBay sales going down, it's only going to get worse for probably another month. Around Christmas, it tends to historically start making that climb back up into January. Let's see. Where are we at in the chat? ATX says, I hate shaving almost as much as I hate having hair on my face. Let's see. What my problem with shaving is I shave in the shower, so not in front of the mirror. And I don't do like a battery powered or whatever. I just do the shaver that I use a Gillette Mach 3. This is like Gillette Genius. I've used this same Gillette Mach 3, not the razor. I switch out the razors, but the stick since I turned 18 back in the year 2000. 22 years I've been using this damn thing. Why is Gillette genius? Because they sent, and I think it was when you signed up for the when you signed up for the Secret Service, when you signed up for the draft, what do you call that? Selective service, whatever that is. When you signed up for the draft at the age of 18. Do they even do that? I don't even know if they even do that anymore. Anyway, Gillette must get that somehow. They get 18-year-olds on a mailing list, and they send you a Gillette Mach 3 razor. They're probably up to like Gillette Mach 37 right now, but I have the Mach 3 and 3 blades, and I still use it to this day. It's the only razor I've ever used, Gillette Mach 3. So Gillette, why is this genius? Well, they send you the Gillette Mach 3 stick and like 4 razors. And then what do you do for the next 22? What have I done for the next 22 years? I buy Gillette Mach 3 replaceable or blades for 22 years. They've got my business from one simple happy 18th birthday. Here's a razor. Genius marketing. Genius marketing. So I shave in the shower. And now that when I shaved once a week, it didn't really matter because I didn't have much facial growth. But now I let it go 2-3 weeks. So I've got a lot and it's like all over the place. And so I'm shaving. And so then I wash everything away. I start to feel, I think I got everything. And then I step out of the shower. I look in the mirror and I've got like patches of hair. I'm like, son of a, so I got to pull out my Gillette Mach 3 out of the shower. and do some touch-up work in front of the mirror. Let's see. Diego didn't list anything. That's why his eBay sales flatlined. Robert, good morning and happy Thanksgiving Eve to you. ATX says, mine are horrible, even with a buy one, get one free sale. Doing that just to hopefully get more sales. Down 15% this month and down 25% last month. It's all about adapting. List more, but list what's going to sell. I frequently say, oh, look what's sold out of my eBay store. It's going to be hard to say that because of all the sales I've had. So a lot of it's like new stuff that I've added. But it's like, okay, here's a good one. 2010 Topps T206 or Topps 206. Brian McCann sold. 1993 Topps Roger Clemens. Actually, I sold two of them. 1993 Topps Roger Clemens. So there you go. But that doesn't mean go list 1,000 1993 Topps cards, because the chances of those selling, list Mike Trouts if you have them, list players that are hot. But if you keep listing and if you learn what's selling and adapt around what's selling, you'll have success even in a down market. Steve, what's up? Any card shows in Chicagoland on Saturday? Driving in for Thanksgiving in Janesville will be too far. Bummer. I'll be in Janesville on Saturday. So where are you at in Chicagoland? Because Janesville's not, it's probably a couple hours from where you're at. Any card shows? Probably not. Like Janesville's like the only show that I know of, because most people don't want to have a show on the Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend, which is why shows on the Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend are so successful. My show last year, and I wanted to do the Madison Card Show again this year, Saturday of Thanksgiving, but the Sheraton was booked. My room was booked that weekend. Fortunately, Janesville had their show. It's like, because this is a great weekend to have a card show, because people by Saturday are tired of their families and they want to get out and go to a card show. Let's take a look. I'm on the Beckett card show. So what it's like November 26th. Looks like there's one in Woodstock, Illinois. I did not think they were having a November show. There's a show in Orland Park. Okay, so there's a lot of shows in the Chicagoland area. So Orland Park has a really good show. I don't know where you're at, but between Orland Park and Woodstock, I would definitely go to Orland Park. It's a bigger show, 80 tables to 20 tables, basically. And I know some of the vendors that set up actually at both locations. So apologies to those that set up in Woodstock. Orland Park is the much better show. I think anybody would tell you that. Even the people that are in Woodstock would tell you Orland Park's a better show. Let's see. So those are both on Saturday. Janesville, of course, is on Saturday. Looks like just those two. So there's actually there's two more options than I expected. I didn't think there would be any options in the Chicagoland area on Saturday, but Orland Park, which is south suburbs, Woodstock, which is far, far, far northwest. And I would say, if depending where you're at, Woodstock to Janesville is only an hour. No, not even an hour, probably 30 or 40 minutes. So if you would consider going to Woodstock, just drive the extra 40 minutes and go to Janesville, because Janesville is going to be about 100 tables. So that's my suggestions. I sound like I'm really crapping on the Woodstock show, but it's a super small show. Let's see. Jenny says, Steve, I do believe the Janesville Card Show is Saturday. LAG, what's happening? He wants to know if I brush my teeth in the shower. I do not. But you know what? Hey, I'm all about saving time. I wouldn't be opposed to brushing my teeth in the shower. I don't need to look in the mirror to brush I need to look in the mirror more to shave than I need to look in the mirror to brush my teeth. So I should consider brushing my teeth in the shower. Multitasking. Let's see. Henry, what's up, Henry? You double dip, Daniel. You dip? Why you a dip? Let's see. John says shows in Orland Park and Woodstock this weekend. There you go. Cardshowmap.com. Henry says, I want to sign up for draft beer. Yeah, where was that draft? Let's see. LAG says you need a mirror in the shower. I do not. I don't want to look at myself in the shower. Jenny says, I enjoy how we're talking card shows in the chat and Bo's showing us how he shaves in the shower. I'm behind. That's a good sign that there's a good chat going on. How far behind am I based on the chat? ATX says, I look at your store sales almost every day. Yes, that's the goal because I like to add stuff every day. And if you're selling on eBay, like, it doesn't have to be consistent, like when you list or even really what you list, but just list every day. And list good stuff at good prices and you'll have success. If you list commons at okay prices, you're going to get a sale here and there. You have to adapt to the market, and the market, there's no like two ways about it. The market is in a decline, but it doesn't have to be in a decline for you. Just look at, and here's my vote motivation is like, oh my God, sales are down. Well, yes, that's a problem, but it's not like the end of the world. Look at 2014, 2012, 2010. Guess what? There were people making a living selling cards full time in like the downest of down markets. So it can be done. LAG wants to know, what's your biggest sale ever? Probably my house. When it comes to cards, probably the Ellie De La Cruz, the yellow first chrome auto, the Ellie De La Cruz. This pro debut Ellie De La Cruz orange will not go for as much. We'll probably go for a third, is from what I sold the yellow. Max says the only reason, and that's the difference between first Bowman Chrome and Topps Pro Debut. The only reason things don't sell on eBay is either low demand, high prices, or a listing mistake. Absolutely. Let's see. ATX, mine was a Tom Seaver rookie I got for free, sold for $1,050 in 3 hours. Can't beat that at all. James says Woodstock, Illinois has a little show. Let's see where we at. LAG says nice. Jenny says, oh, I read Steve's comment as he was going to be in Janesville. Henry says prior Thanksgivings, it was the best of times. It was the blurst of times. Last Thanksgiving, I had a great sales day on eBay. So it'll be interesting. I am running a Black Friday sale, so I didn't run any sales last Thanksgiving. So, maybe I have an even better Thanksgiving, but I also have a big sale going on. But also you're like, well, 50% off. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Of course it is. I sold a 1993 Topps Roger Clemens for 75 cents, but I had to sell 10 cards for that buyer to get that 75-cent card. Say they were all $1.50 cards with free shipping. That's $7.50. And it's going to cost, I'll probably go to 3 ounces on that, $1.05 shipping. We're down to what, $7.50, $6.50, $6.45. What's the fee on $7.50? It's going to be roughly 80 cents. A couple card savers, say 20 cents in supplies and labels. You're $6, $5.50, $6 net on 10 cards. It probably cost me a nickel altogether. It's worth it. Broncos in the house. What's up, Baseball Card Illustrated? Good morning to you. I have the day off and had a chance to sleep in, but I'm here for Hobby Evolution. That's my guy. What is up, Bronco? What is the maximum number of cards you ship in a PWE? So this varies. I'll go 10 to 11 or 12. And I use these, and I can never remember if these are ones or twos, card savers. But they're the wider ones, the wider card savers, and you can easily fit 3 cards in there. If they're like 1993 Topps with, thinner paper stock, I'll do 12. But if it's like Heritage or thicker cards, then I probably 8 or 9. So that's what I do. And then you upgrade to 3 ounces on the standard envelope, 3 ounce standard envelope for $1.05. That's mine. And like I said, it's not like a hard rule. Like if this person buys 12 cards, it automatically goes PWE, or if they buy 13, it automatically goes bubble mailer. It's once it gets to like 8, 9 cards, it's kind of a crapshoot. Value is also taken into consideration. If it's 8 cards at $4 each, it goes bubble mailer. If it's 8 cards at $1.50 each, it goes PWE. If it's 12 cards and they're all like standard stock $1.50 cards, they go PWE. If they're thicker stock, they might have to go bubble mailer. So it's kind of a gray area, but those are some of the things I look at when deciding between bubble mailer or PWE. That's also why I like free shipping, why I like not charging free shipping. I mean, number one, it boosts you in the ranks. Having free shipping gets you higher rank in search on eBay than charging for shipping. So that's the most important thing. But secondly, I can, as long as I say ships PWE, and I typically do that in every listing that's under $20, ships PWE. So it's almost like people, if they read the description, I know a lot of people don't. I myself included, I'll admit, I don't really read descriptions unless it's a break because I want to make sure all cards ship. But if it says shipped PWE, they buy 15 cards and it comes in a bubble mailer, hey, bonus. Or if they buy 8 cards and it, it was over $20, it comes bubble. So anyway, those are just some of the things what I consider, take into consideration in my eBay store and shipping. DR, what's happening, DR? Dan in the house. My 7-year-old daughter told me last night after seeing my room, Daddy, you should stop buying cards and just focus on selling your cards. My wife has said the same thing many times. Why don't you sell more? You're bringing more in, and especially in the last month, I brought in a lot more cards than I'm selling a lot of cards, but I'm buying a lot more. Let's see. John says, Dan, I've recently had that talk with myself. Terry says my sales are up 5% last 30 days. Page views are up 39%. Let's see. Let's take a look at where my stats are. I was in the red because I had a really good October and my November sales were not catching up to that. But I think now with my sales, I'm still down 10% dollar-wise. But I had a really good Tuesday, thanks in part to that sale, and I'm off to a nice start today. My listing impressions are up 5%, and my page views are up 17%. So those are numbers I'll take. I'd like to see that last 31 sales dollar number go up, but it should by the end of the month. We still have one solid week left. My sales should outpace October because of my sale this week. Let's see. Steve says Naperville, Orland Park is where I will go. There you go. And yeah, Naperville to Orland Park is not far at all, and that's a good show. Let's see. Jenny says, but I would suggest you come to Janesville. But I understand if you don't want to drive all the way to Janesville and pay there is a toll at Beloit, or South Beloit, I guess. I understand. Yeah, it's South Beloit because it's on the Illinois side. So yeah, Orland Park's a good show. Brent and Becca are a perfect example of making a living in a down market in the hobby. Absolutely. And look at Brent and Becca. And Jenny, that's a great point. Look at Brent and Becca and their style. This is why it's important, if you're even considering doing cards full time, create a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Look at Brent and Becca. They thrived in a down market and basically went out of business at the peak because it was an outside threat. It was nothing in their control. They probably were buying more than what they had been buying, but it still wasn't enough because there were other buyers with, whether or not they were deeper pockets, they were willing to spend more money on wax. And Brent and Becca basically got shut out and said, nope, we're not going to give you 100 cases. We're going to give you 5. And so basically their business, their entire business had to be altered. I don't know if they completely went out. I know they still ripped some, but basically, they no longer did what they did. And that was kind of like the reverse of they thrived in a down market and then, it all went kaput in a huge upswing. Jenny says, how many active did you have last Thanksgiving? Active in the chat or active? Active listings, I assume you mean. Let's see. I don't think I had that tracked last year. I didn't start tracking my daily numbers. Oh, maybe I did. I don't think I did. I was only tracking my sales numbers. Did I have November? My sales numbers on Thanksgiving Day were like way more. Let's see. My sales number in the days leading up, in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days leading up, my sales, the 5 days preceding Thanksgiving last year did not equal my Thanksgiving sales, and it really still wasn't even close. Let's see. But as far as active listings, I was oh, no, I didn't start tracking. I started tracking November, December. So I didn't start tracking until December 20th. I was at 8,600 active listings on December 20th. So I was probably, we'll say 7,000 active listings. And I hit 29,000 active listings yesterday. And with my sale, it dropped me under 28,000, or dropped me down to 28,000 some. So over 28,000 probably. So I have 4 times the amount of inventory as last year. Let's see. John says, anyone listing Thanksgiving Day football players? People buy some weird stuff hyped up on tryptophan. That's a great point, which I really didn't even think about. The games on Thanksgiving. I should probably look through my football boxes. And I've been listing so many baseball. Dan says, I'm seriously considering driving to Cooperstown on Black Friday to go to the Topps Dave and Adams store. That would be cool. You know, I should save this thought until Friday, Black Friday. But I'll share some stories on Black Friday. I'll just leave it at this. I've never shopped on Black Friday. I've shopped on my computer in my card room, but I've never gone out and waited in line in 20-degree weather at Best Buy at 3 a.m. I've never done a Black Friday. I had friends on Thanksgiving Day that their Thanksgiving Day tradition wasn't watching the WWF Survivor Series. Thanksgiving tradition. Vince McMahon. That's my terrible Vince McMahon. Now I'm going to have a sore throat the rest of the day. But I had friends, their Thanksgiving Day tradition was getting the newspaper and looking through all Best Buy and JCPenney and Toys R Us and all of these ads, Wal-Mart, and mapping out a plan of where we're going to go. We're going to get to Best Buy at 2 a.m. and wait in line. And then from Best Buy, we're going to go to Walmart and no thanks. I'm going to be hungover on Black, because this was back in the day. I'm going to be hungover and waking up at 10 and asking if dinner's ready. Let's see. Jenny says, I haven't been doing much football, doing baseball stars and Hall of Famers this week. Yeah, I'm kind of doing a lot of baseball now with my eBay store because it's always, baseball will be ramping back up. I know the World Series was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, but we're going to be ramping back up for baseball in the next month as far as sales go on eBay. Basketball is just down. Everything is down. I'll list the swatches and the autos that I have from that collection I bought last month. But in terms of base, I'm not listing any basketball base because it's just, I've listed a stack of Lukas, LeBrons, Kobe's, and it just sits in my eBay store. And every once in a while, it's well, shoot, I listed that 3 weeks ago and it just sold for $1.50. It's crazy. Abraham, what's happening? Abraham, good morning to you. David says, good chance I'll be in NYC on Friday. Hope to check out the MLB flagship store. Awesome. Adam Lee, what's happening? Welcome to the chat. Good morning. Max says, a lot of businesses in the card industry, I think, burned a lot of bridges during the pandemic. I would agree with that. Too many reached for more profit and forgot about who they built their business on the back of. Absolutely. And I think some of those the reckoning is still yet to come for several of those. James says prospects are selling well. I'm glad to hear that because mine are not. So I'm glad to hear there's somewhat of an uptick. I've got a bunch of like first Bowman that I'm just kind of sitting on because it just hasn't been moving for me. So I am glad to hear, especially with a case of Heritage Miners being delivered to me today, which I'll rip and list at some point. So that'll be my fun Wednesday. Hopefully it comes by. Who knows when UPS and mail is delivered in the next, from now until December 23rd, with the holidays. So I'm hoping to get my case of Heritage Miners. It's being delivered UPS, which tend to be late. FedEx is always early in my neighborhood. UPS can tend to be 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah, hopefully that Heritage Miners case, I'd like to have it by 1:30 so I can watch some Wisconsin Badger basketball and rip Heritage Miners at the same time. So I had an adventure at Walmart yesterday. I bought a new computer. Guess what? I'm not using it. It's still in the box. So Walmart had, and I've been shopping for a computer for what seems like years. It's only been months. So I've been shopping around, and I took people's advice here in the chat on Twitter. What's a good specs? Like I need it to I just need it to start up fast, and I want the internet to be fast. I just want things to be faster than what my laptops are. So I got some good advice. So Walmart had, and I've been shopping for a couple months for a machine, and I want an all-in-one, and I want a desktop, and I have literally not owned a desktop in 20 years. It was probably a Gateway, might have been a Dell. It was probably a Dell because it was like the first hot computer was Gateway, and then it was Dell. And it was back in the day of, dude, you're getting a Dell. Like that guy. Dude, you're getting a Dell. Dude, I got a Dell. So I didn't get a Dell. I got an HP. It's an HP 27-inch monitor. And I just want a huge monitor. So it's got a 27-inch monitor. It's AIOR5, whatever the hell that means. But it was originally $700, which can confirm it's not one of these markdowns where it's like, hey, this used to be $3,000, now it's $500. $449. I'm like, damn, my budget was I'd like to be under $1,000 for a machine with these perks. So that's why I waited until November. It's like maybe there's going to be a decent Black Friday sale or Black November, whatever. So 27-inch monitor. It's got an AMD Ryzen 5 processor. Is that good? I don't know. I Googled it and it had fairly good reviews. Any computer nerds know if that's good. AMD Ryzen 5. On Walmart's little thing, here's all the specs. Can you see that? I don't know if that's in focus. But it says speed processor AMD Ryzen 5, and it's better. It's between better and best. Between good, better, best. And I did memory 8 gigabyte DRAM. And so people did tell me you want either 8 or 16. And I know the bigger number is better. So I'm like, okay, I want at least 8. I want 8 or 16. Storage, 512 gigabyte SSD. And I remember somebody saying you want SSD. So it's like, ooh, and that's best. That's best on the Walmart rank. It's way past good and better. Screen, 27-inch full HD monitor, and that's also best. And I knew that because I wanted a big monitor. So see, for me, it's I just want a big monitor, and I don't care about all these nerd stats, but it's the nerd stats that I need. So that's why I needed your help. So appreciate all of the assistance with that. So $449. So I have actually seen this, and this sale's been going on for, I think, most of the month of November. So, and I've gone to this Walmart a couple times and I've looked at this deal and it's like, I think this is the deal I'm going to get. And so so yesterday it's like, shit, I need to go. Sorry, Dean. I need to get this computer, before like Black Friday, before people buy it. I'm sure they have like a ton of these in the back, or somewhere. So I went to Walmart. I checked out the card section. They had some like select basketball, but it's like, no, not doing basketball. They had some, as in like an entire wall of score football. And I thought maybe I should get one for the Couch People Christmas party. And I passed. And then for baseball, they had, did they have any baseball? I don't think they had any. They might have had something that I've already opened, but they didn't have updated archives, which if they did, I probably would have bought something. And then I went to electronics. There she was, the HP 27-inch AIO R5 with 27-inch screen monitor. So I put that puppy, I took my cart back, loaded that sucker up in the cart. I had to check out because it had all the security tags on it. So I had to go to a person, which is pretty rare to find like a cashier at Walmart these days. They're all, which I actually sounded like somebody sneezed outside my window. It's kind of creepy. But I prefer self-checkout. And I know a lot of people, well, they should be paying me to check out. It's like, no, do you want to go to like a cashier, a person and wait 30 minutes? Or do you want to just check yourself out? Stop being stubborn. Like I'm stubborn, but that's beyond stubborn. They should be paying me to check out. So usually I do enjoy self-checkout as opposed to waiting in line for a person. So I check out and the line wasn't too long, but by the time I got in line, there was like a long line behind me because there's only like one or two actual people checking out, cashiers. So I check out and she goes, $800 and whatever, $801.02 or whatever the total was. Fuck. What? I'm like, how much was the computer? And I hate the person that questions the total, but I've been to Walmart 3 times in the last 2 weeks, looking at this damn computer. I've taken and I wasted steps going back and taking another picture because I had one saved already because when I got home, I wanted to research all this crap. I'm like, this computer was on sale for $450. And then the cashier just kind of looks and she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, I could tell she like had no idea what to do in this situation. So, I look behind me and I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll go to customer service. You've got a line. I'll go to customer service and I'll figure this out with customer service. There's nothing worse than like a price check on aisle 7 and there's like 12 people in line and there's 7 different Walmart employees looking at each other. What do we do now? That's like the worst. That's why I hate Walmart. So I go to customer service and I'm like, so I just bought this. It rang up as like $800, but it's on sale for $450. I'm pretty sure, like I made sure it matches everything that I saw on the price tag. And so she's looking up and I'm trying to look up on the website. And for some reason, I have the app, thanks to Herman, suggested the app. I think I haven't like logged in or whatever. It's asking me like 20 questions. And I'm like, son of a, so I go back to the website, and she's like looking and she's like, well, can you go back and take a picture? I'm like, yeah. So I go back and I look and sure enough, like here it is. You see it here. HP 27 AIO R5, $449. I'm looking at the small print. No, nothing in the small print. Was $699, so that matches up $700 plus tax. And I bought some envelopes. So I'm looking. Nope, it doesn't. There's no like small print. So I take the picture. I go back up, and sure enough, so she has to get a manager at the same time. Okay, so this is here sidebar. I've never worked in retail. I've never worked in retail, and there was a lady at the customer service desk, like hacking up a lung, like disgusting cough. And I think the manager who like came up, like the lady's like, I'm gonna go take a break, and like I feel like crap or something. And the manager's like, I wish I could let you go home. And it's like I just I don't know. That I just leave it at that. Adventure, like that's what you get at Walmart. Anyway, like I can't fathom like that whole interaction. I just can't fathom that. Anyway, the manager comes up and she's like, okay. So I just thought they're just gonna refund, or they're just gonna like cancel the transaction and re-ring me up. So they're just gonna run my card, cancel that transaction, ring it up $4.49 plus the other crap I bought. They're like, well, normally we would like give you a gift card, but like this is obviously a mistake, so we're just going to give you cash back. And I'm like, oh, cool. So got like $350 in cash. Now it went on my business credit card, so yeah, obviously that's just going to go toward the, it's not like it's free money, but it's like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, I would have preferred to like have it ring up correctly. So everything was accurate in the first place. But I guess if you're going to give me cash back, it's far better than a gift. I would have been pissed if I would have got a gift card back. It's like, no, just cancel the transaction and rerun it. So that was my adventure at Walmart. I thought there was one other thing. I think that was all. So let's go into the chat. Let's see. Where we at? JG, thanks for the great deals. Hey, you are welcome. Thanks for taking advantage. Let's see. Since I started this video, I am at 36 eBay notifications. You probably can't see that because screen on screen. So thank you, JG. Jenny says you can also add on a flat screen TV as a second monitor, which you could make any size TV to have a bigger monitor. I actually did do that. My last job, we bought new computers, and they had to like wipe everything off the old machines because it had like sensitive data on it. So everything, and then they were just going to like recycle them at Best Buy or wherever, but they're like, hey, does anybody want, it's a computer, the monitors don't come with it, but you get a computer. And I'm like, oh yeah, cool. I'll take a computer. And I was going to set it up in this room with like, I had like a 50-inch TV that was in my storage area that I didn't use. And it's like, oh, cool. I'll just have like, I can watch like YouTube on it. But the problem that I learned once I got everything hooked up, these computers did not have video cards. So it ended up going to then I had to take it to get it recycled at Best Buy or wherever we took it. Let's see. Jenny says, is this new computer going where you do your live or where you do your listing? So unfortunately, it is not going down here where I go live. So it's going to be in my upstairs office where I do my listings. But the good thing is, eventually, I will be doing my live streams in my office where I list in the new house. But that's not going to be until like next June. So eventually, it will be used for my live streams, but not until I move to the new house. Flawed Thinker says SSDs are good for boot time. Good. That's what I need, boot time. 8 GB is decent for what you do. Ryzen 5s are decent. That is a great deal. Okay, good. Because like I'm not a gamer. I list on eBay. Like I have a scanner, like my Fujitsu scanner goes through. I use Excel and eBay. And then I watch YouTube videos. That's it. Like I wouldn't think I would need this like super giant supercomputer, gamer computer to do what I do. Baseball Card Illustrated. You sound like the person at the card show that comes to the table 4 times and then buys the card they've been looking at all day, but you did that at Wally World. That's exactly what I do. That is exactly what I do. And the kind of the sad thing is I do this on like smaller and smallish purchases. Like TVs, like back in the day. So when I was in my early 20s, like the first car I bought on my own, I spent a year shopping for TVs, looking at the same TVs. This was like when flat screens, like not flat screens what we think of today, but like they still had like they were still bulky and heavy as F. But I shopped for a damn TV. And back then, like a 27-inch flat screen was like $700. Now you could get something like that. Now you could get a 50-inch for like 100 or 200. Anyway, how times have changed. But I shopped around for like a year. I went to like every department store, Best Buy, Wal-Mart, everything you could think of, shopping for a TV. When I shop for my car, I go to the Ford dealership, I test drive a Ford Explorer, and I bought it. One test drive, bought it same day. TV, it took me a year to make a $700 TV purchase way back in the day. And I spend whatever thousands on this stupid Ford Explorer. But I will say that Ford Explorer I bought in 2003? Yeah, 2003. I drove that thing into the ground. I think I bought it. It was used. I think I bought it with 20,000 miles. And I think it finally died at like 150 or 160,000 miles. I mean, I put that thing I drove all over the state of Illinois. It was a beast. So my dad hated Ford. He was a Chevy guy. But after that was my first Ford. And now it's like Ford solid. I'm a Ford guy now. I think I've driven a Ford. My dad, and I grew up like Ford was the enemy. My dad well, it's still up. My dad's no longer with us, but his bumper sticker lives on. I'd rather push a Chevy than drive a Ford, still hanging in his garage shop at my mom's house. And then I bring home a Ford Explorer in 2003. He nearly disowned me. And I've driven a Ford like since 2003. I think every vehicle I've owned since 2003 has been a Ford Explorer. I drove a Taurus briefly when my Explorer finally kicked the can. And then a Ford Escape, which is like a smaller SUV. And then now the Edge, which is like a midsize. It's smaller than the Explorer, but it's larger than the Escape. So in this, I'm actually on my second Edge, my second Ford Edge, which I love. I love the Ford Edge. Anyway, Jenny says $800. They tried to take you to the cleaners, but I got through. Let's see. Joe Caprino, what's happening? Good morning to you. That's a good deal on that computer. Pretty solid for what you do. The SSD will help with boot time. Excellent. I'm glad that I'm getting reviews, especially after the fact. Let's see. Weird that they didn't run you through the checkout in the electronics section. Yeah, I don't even know if it was open. Let's see. Brian Wolf's in the house. What's happening? Brian Wolf. Adam Lee said we. Jenny says you should consider doing a dual monitor setup for your work area. My boss does spreadsheets all the time. I'm hooked up on a dual setup, saved her 2 to 3 hours a day from not flipping back and forth. That is we used a dual screen setup at my last job. And the funny thing is, it took me a long time to get used to it. Like I would still only use one screen. Like the second screen was just there. But eventually I learned to use the dual screen setup. Joe says you might need an external storage drive if you have lots of pictures, documents, or videos saved, or use something like Dropbox or Google Drive. That's a good point. I try like when I scan like all my photos and the cards that go through the Fujitsu, I delete them after they're listed. I delete them, and then clean the recycle bin. But that is a good point. And I've got a lot of like What sucks is I've got like thumb drives everywhere. I need like a giant storage drive, like a terabyte, which they're probably cheap. Back in the day, you had to buy these little thumb drives that were, how big is this? How small is this? I should say 8 gigabyte, and which doesn't hold too much, especially when it comes to audio and like 3-hour game video or game audio radio broadcasts. Randy, what's happening? I just jumped on. I thought you said happy crash day, as in cards are crashing. No, never. Jenny says 160K mile and it died. No wonder Ford is found on the road dead. I don't think I took good care of it though. I was a rough driver. Let's see, 38 years and counting with the same Ford. Cooter, you're a Ford guy. Oh yeah, Cooter. There you go. So that was my adventures in Walmart. We're over an hour. Tops Heritage Miners. Hopefully that case comes today. Max says people drive cars over 100K. Hell yeah. I'm freaking cheap, man. I'm freaking cheap. I don't want a car. Once I pay that car off, I want to drive it till it's dead. I did lease my I will say I enjoyed the leasing. My wife, did she lease? She has an SUV now. She's like always, I think she's always leased, which is, I've always thought was weird because she drives for work. Like she's, going to all these showings and stuff, puts on a lot more miles than just me driving to the post office and back or the office and back. But I did lease my last Ford Edge and I loved it because it's a brand new car. You put your 10 to 12,000 miles a year on it, free oil changes, free maintenance and all that crap. Something happens, you're not liable for it. You just take it to the shop. So I did like leasing. And maybe I'll go back, but I set that back and I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to buy a used Ford Edge. So I bought a used one and now I'm going to drive it to the ground. Maybe we'll see. Let's see. Jenny says, I enjoy spending my money on more than just a brand new car to impress the people I don't give a crap about. See, I'm not a car guy. I don't give a crap what I'm driving. So I'm not, it was like when I was in high school, I had some friends that were loved cars and, they're like, oh, I've got to drive your new car. And it's a Chevy Beretta. But they just had to drive every car that was within arm's reach. And I've never been a car guy. Which is weird because my dad was a gearhead who would rather push a Chevy than drive a Ford. And my dad was a gearhead and it's somebody would bring a new car. Ooh, yeah, she's a beauty, doing the driveway looksy. But I was never it's just a car. Sometimes they're fun to drive, but Brian says 2006 F-150, 222,000 miles, dead in the driveway. Definitely rough on my truck. Max says it was a joke. Relax. I'd assume all card people are cheap as hell. I am cheap as hell. Two biggest wastes of money in the world are cars and houses. Well, houses, I'm more of a house guy. Hey, when you're a couch people, you've got to have a nice house. Real estate is a good investment if bought at the right time. I'm more of a card investor. Let's see. Steve says, drive my last car for 16 years. Definitely was over 100,000 miles. No point to keep paying heavy depreciation with new cars. Yeah. And I just cars for me. And if you've especially now that I do card shows twice a month, it's just weighted down with 24 monster boxes of cards. My entire back seat filled with cards and crap. I really do. After the Janesville card show this Saturday, I do need to first off, I need to get rid of the quarter boxes out of my car so I can make room to try to sell off some bulk, and then maybe get ready for another Goodwill pallet. And then the back seat has to like be taken out. Hell, the front seat's full. Let's see. Jenny says land and dirt will always have value, in my opinion. DJ Local says 2009 F-150, 190,000 miles and still going. Love it. So what's a car that I think my Ford Explorer was the longest I've ever, it was like around 100, I think 160,000, maybe 165,000 miles. And then it died. Buicks always seem to last forever. Like I had a friend in high school, and they were like a Buick family, and it was almost like a hand-me-down. Like mom and dad would buy a new Buick, and then they would drive it for how many years? And then the oldest, and they had what? 1, 2, I think they had 4 kids, all sons. And then like they each got a Buick, and it was like a hand-me-down. Like, they lasted. Like I think the last, like my friend was the youngest of the 4 brothers. And I think by the time he got his Buick, it had 350,000 miles on it. It had been in like 17 deer collisions. Like Buicks just, I mean, they were built like freaking tanks. Like these like Buick LeSabres from the early to mid 90s. They're freaking tanks. Tanks. Let's see. Max says people overbuy on houses all the time. With my wife in real estate, I can assure you that is absolutely correct. Let's see. Real estate gets smoked by the S&P all day long. Takes way too long to appreciate. Brian says have to buy new as I'm no mechanic. Me neither. That's why I liked leasing, because everything was covered. Like, something breaks down, call the shop and take it in, and they own it, not me. I'm just renting it. Let's see. Always buy the last year available with 0 down, 0 interest right about this time of year. Would rather buy cards than car payment. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's see. Jenny says, if you can't say you have drove your car to the moon and back, you are not truly living on the wild side. But I do live on the wild side when it comes to my gas tank. And like my dad, gearheads, they hate it when you let your gas tank, especially in the winter, run to E. And I love playing the game. Any Seinfeld fans? I love playing the game. But last time I ran out of gas was probably 2 or 3 years ago. And I made it, and I forgot. So I'm leaving work. And I think I actually left my house that morning on 0 miles to empty. And I'm like, I can get through the day. It's going to put 20 miles on it. I'll get through the day. So I drive to work on 0, drive home for lunch, drive back to the office. And then it's like, okay, I'm kind of pushing it now. I'll just go to Quick Trip. And now that I think about it, the time from like where I would have turned off to my house and where I ran out of gas, I would have ran out of gas like on a really busy highway. So it probably was better that I forgot to go to Quick Trip to get gas, because I wouldn't have made it, and I would have stalled out on a main highway, like, and super busy because it's driving home from work time, and it's only 2 lanes, so it's like backed up, and so I forget to go to Quick Trip, so I turn left, and then as soon as I turn left, you get that. I'm like, can I make, as long as I can make it to my garage? I have a gas tank with gas for like my lawnmower. So I can just get home with my gas tank, get gas. And I ran out right in front of the park. My neighbor across the street looks out. You okay? Yeah, I'm good. A little embarrassed, but I'm good. So I called my wife. Fortunately, she was home. I'm like, hey, can you bring the gas can down? Because I'm literally a block away from my house. Literally a block away from my house, just around the corner. So my wife comes down. It's like raining. My wife comes down. So she drives because it's raining, brings the gas can. And remember, I'm not a gearhead. I don't know how to fix things. I can't use tools. I cannot figure out how to fill the gas tank. For some reason, these new gas cans and gas tanks, it's not like just sticking the gas pump into the hole like when you have like a red gas can. For whatever reason, I couldn't get it stuck in the hole. I'm like, you got to be effing kidding me. I'm getting rained on, and I can't even fill my own gas tank. I can't even pump my own gas. So fortunately, I have my friend Jeremy, who lives around the corner, Mr. Fix-It. He's like the handyman. I call Jeremy. I'm like, hey, man, so I've got kind of a unique problem. He knows me well enough to know what type of unique problems I might have. He's like, okay, what do you need? I'm like, okay, so I ran out of gas next to the park. And he's like, what? He's like, there's a Quick Trip a mile down the road. How do you run out of gas? Well, I play the game. And I lost. I played the game, and today I lost. So I'm like, so the situation is unique because Amy brought the gas can down, but I can't figure out how to get the gas into my gas tank. And he's like, what? He's like, just open the door, the gas can handle, and stick the thing in the hole. And I'm like, it's not doing anything. So Jeremy comes down in the rain, boom, gets it right. I'm like, how the hell did you do that? And how did you do it so fast? So sometimes you play the game and lose. So that's my latest running out of gas. I've actually run out of gas probably a dozen times in my life since I was 16. My first was when I was 16. My first running out of gas story, I was 16. I was probably 16. My friend Luke lived like in the middle of nowhere. So I grew up in Anawan. He had moved, his dad built a house south of Atkinson, which is the like neighboring town. They had a Casey's, by the way. Anawan didn't. So we had to turn. So we're driving my 1989 Pontiac Sunbird down Route 6. You can follow along if you get on Google Maps. So driving on Route 6 out of Anawan. And I'm in my 1989 Pontiac Sunbird. I'm on E. This is back in the day when they don't tell you how many miles to E. Like now it's like, you're an idiot. It says you have 0 miles to empty. Get to a gas station, you moron. No, I'm playing the game. So driving down Route 6, you turn left at the Giant Goose, which is basically like a lake park. I think you have to be a member. So I turn left at the Giant Goose, and all of a sudden I'm spitting and sputtering. Now, I'm 16. Fortunately, it was summer, and it wasn't raining. But it was like 1 a.m. And where the Giant Goose and where I ran out of gas is roughly 5 miles from anywhere, really. Most importantly, my friend Luke's house, where there's a gas can. So we pull over and we have to walk 5 miles. Fortunately, when you're 16, like 5 miles is nothing. And at 1 a.m., we're just, it's one of those like, kind of like the movie Stand By Me. It's like this coming of age story. These 2 idiot kids run out of gas. Fortunately, it wasn't like a scary movie. We weren't murdered next to Camp Crystal Lake or anything. But we're walking, we're laughing. And then the next minute it's like, you effing idiot. What the hell are you thinking? And then we're laughing again. And then we're, all that stuff. So fortunately he had like a motorcycle, like a motorbike, dirt bike. So he took his gas can. And I went in and played Sega Genesis, and he took his motorcycle and drove down and filled the gas tank. And how did we get back? I think we left it on the side of the road. He went and filled the gas tank up. And then I think he rode his motorcycle back, and we just left the car. And then I think his mom, or maybe he drove down. But for whatever reason, he didn't take his car. I don't know why. Because I think we picked my car up in the morning off the side of the road. I don't know. That now that I think about it, that was like, why did we do that? But I remember him distinctly taking his motorcycle down. Maybe because he didn't want to open the garage because it was 1 a.m. We were probably past curfew or something. So we had to sneak in like the basement. I don't know. But that's probably why he took his motors. He probably pushed his bike out into the road and then started it up and drove down, and then that's why I hung out in the basement, played Sega Genesis. Anyway, yes, I am a mess, Andrew. I am a mess. Let's see where are we at in the chat. I've got to wrap things up. We're an hour 20 and I've got some shipping to do. Let's see, 38,000 miles to the moon, to the earth. We would have a ton more high mileage cars around, except that Cash for Clunkers program that came through took a ton off the roads. Bruce, what's happening? Good morning to you. I have a 2003 Trailblazer, 280,000 miles. That is awesome. Jenny says, I wonder when your wife was more happy, bringing you a gas can in the rain because you wouldn't get gas, or you bought another effing pallet. She's come to accept the pallets. I think she was more pissed off with the gas can in the rain. Blaine, what's happening? Good morning to you. I've sold several early 2000s Chevy Silverados, Avalanches, and Tahoes with between 300 and 400,000 miles. That's amazing. Let's see. Mark says, great episode of Seinfeld. It is. Probably not who I should be idolizing playing the game. Kramer. Putty describes the charges to Jerry, additional overcharge. Max says, a dozen. I've never been close. Maybe twice where I've gotten to the low fuel warning. I barely let it get below a quarter tank in the winter. Yeah. I was like, one of my other stories where I fortunately did not run out of gas, but I'm like on E, and this was in my radio days. We were driving to, I was working for Macomb. I was working in Macomb, covering the Macomb Bombers. Kelly Sears, who was the head football coach, he was my color commentator. And he knew all the back roads to get to all these different high schools. So we're playing Knoxville, which is outside of Galesburg. And like I'm on E, like as soon as we leave Macomb, and he like looks over and he's like, why didn't you get gas? And I'm like, oh, well, we can stop on the way. He's like, and we're like out, he's like, there's not a gas station. And I think by the time he noticed, like, because we took like all back roads, and like between Macomb and Knoxville, there's not too many nearby towns, especially on this route we took. And he's like, and so he would always check. I think that point that scared him a little bit. So he always looked, he's like, you're stopping at the gas station before we take off. So I've got several more running out of gas stories and running low on gas, but I will share them for another day, save them for another day. I might go live later today to break open a box of Heritage Miners. You know what? I am. And I also bought a new tripod. Not this most recent trip to Walmart, but like last week. So I'll test that out because I want to use that for the Couch People Christmas party. So I'm going to bust open a box of Heritage Miners. Well, I got a case, so maybe we'll do 2 boxes, but I'll do at least 1 box live this afternoon or this evening if it is delivered today. Hopefully it is. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. I will go live tomorrow morning. So there will be a Thanksgiving edition because I'm just going to work a normal day and do family stuff in the evening. So I will go live tomorrow morning for a Thanksgiving edition of Hobby Evolution. Maybe we'll play a special because I probably won't have any topics to talk about. Maybe we'll rip a box of Heritage Miners, but I think we'll play the game. I know Andrew's itching. Andrew's itching to play the game, not the running out of gas game, but the name the player game. So we'll try that. We'll do that tomorrow. So I thought about if I ran out of time today. I was like, I was at the 20-minute mark, and I didn't think I'd be talking even close to an hour, let alone an hour and 25 minutes. So here we are. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Have a great Blackout Wednesday. Be safe out there. I think my demographics are all like my age, so you're probably going to be doing the same as me. We're all couch people. We're going to be taking it easy, staying inside, maybe enjoying a few cocktails inside our own homes. But if you are venturing outside, be safe. Have a great Wednesday, and we'll chat. We'll chat later today as we open, hopefully, some Topps Heritage Miners. If they're not delivered, we'll be back on tomorrow morning for a Thanksgiving show. Thanks for tuning in. See you then.